This video, the title of it I call is Integer Subtraction Type 2. That lines up with Alex, which is an online math program that I'm kind of creating these videos for. But this could help anybody that wants to learn how to subtract two integers where the second number that you're subtracting is negative. So that's what we're going to work with. And the way I'm going to teach it is that you need to know how to add integers. If you don't know how to add integers, then I would go back and look for the video that I created that's adding integers. I'm going to use the same kind of method that I do for that. I'm going to turn every single subtraction problem into an addition problem. And then to me that just keeps it very consistent and very clear. Alright, so I think I'm just going to dive in and do some problems. To me, that's usually the best way to kind of do things. So this type of subtraction that we're looking at today is like this, where our second number is a negative number. That can kind of throw people off. So what I want to teach you first is that, and maybe some people have heard it like this, I work with a lot of high school students and some other teachers. I don't usually use this, but it's effective. If you've ever heard of copy, change, what it means is that you're going to manipulate or you're going to change this 6 minus a negative 3 into something a little bit different. And we're going to change it so that it turns into an addition problem. The way that we do that, by changing this to an addition sign instead of a minus sign, we have to change this number here. Alright, so what we're going to do is, if we have 6 minus a negative 3, we're going to copy the 6. We're going to change the subtraction sign to a plus, so copy, change, and we're going to change the negative 3 to a positive 3. Alright. So it's called copy, change. I used to call it the boop boop rule, because another way to look at it is if you have this, you go boop boop, and then they've both changed. But it's the same rule. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to change any subtraction sign to a plus as long as you change the sign on the number after it. After it's the key word there. Alright, so to finish our problem here, 6 plus a positive 3 will just be a positive 9. That kind of feels okay. Let's try another one slide here. Alright, so let's say that we have example 2. I don't probably end up with a lot of these. So let's say we have 9 minus negative 4. Same thing. We are allowed to change this to a plus as long as we change the number after it. Always the number after it. So if I want to rewrite it so that it's a little bit clear, I now have 9 plus 4. That gives me 13. Alright, I'm going to kick it up a little bit of a notch this time. If I have negative 7 minus negative 3. Alright, again, I'm allowed to change this to a plus sign only if I change the sign on the number after it. Alright, I did not change the sign on the 7. That's illegal. I can't do that. That's not after the plus sign. Alright, so now this is what I'm looking at. Negative 7 plus a positive 3. The way that I teach integer addition is if they have opposite signs. I have a negative 7 and a positive 3. What's the difference of those? The difference between 7 and 3 is 4. My sign on the 4 is going to have to be negative because this guy's bigger and it's a negative number. Okay, let's move to the next topic. Example 4, let's try another one similar to that last one. Negative 3 minus negative, 10, how's that? Alright, kind of get used to seeing the minus, changing it to a plus, changing the sign afterwards. So what does this look like? I like to rewrite, it helps me. Alright, so the difference, I have opposite signs, so I need to find the difference between 10 and 3. The difference between 10 and 3 is 7. And I have to decide, is 7 going to be positive or negative? Well, which of these is bigger? 10's bigger, and it's positive, so my answer has to be positive. Alright, let's try another one. How about, I feel like I'm running out of numbers here. Okay, again, we're looking at the minus sign. We're going to change it as long as we change the sign on the number after it. So now what do we have? We have 5 plus 8. 5 plus 8, they're both positives. I just add them. That's a nice problem. Alright, I'm going to put a couple on, then write them all at once, and I won't do the answers right away. It'd be good if you copied them down, hit pause, worked out the problems, and then came back and hit play and see if you got the right answer. Alright, so let's try negative 10 minus negative 4. we'll do 13 minus -1. And then the last one on this slide, we'll do -7 minus -2. Alright, I'll copy these guys down, hit pause, work them out, take your time, and then come back. So for the first one, I'm going to change, boop, boop, it's a plus a positive. The negative here, the positive here, I need to find the difference between 10 and 4. The difference between 10 and 4 is 6. Will my 6 be positive or negative? Well, 10 is my bigger number here, and it's negative, so my answer has to be negative. Alright, problem number 2. Boop, boop. This has the same signs here. 13 and 1 are both positive. I just add them. Number 3, change, change. Now I have a -7 plus a +2. Those guys are opposites of each other, so I need to think of the difference. The difference will be 5. Now, will the 5 be positive or negative? Well, the bigger number is 7. That's bigger than 2, and 7 is negative, so my answer will also be negative. It turns into be -5. Alright, I do have another topic of integer subtraction, and the only difference between what I did here and what I'm going to be doing in that video is that you're not always going to have a negative here, so it might be minus a positive number. So we'll kind of like look at that and see how that feels. Alright, so look for that. Thank you.